Crypto has died. Again. Crypto seems to die more than any other assets, but there is a lot of mainstream media attention at the moment and a lot of attention from the crypto community itself because there has been a lot of market impacts. It's been going downwards. There's been a lot of major exchanges and other organizations that have completely collapsed, which has cost a lot of people money. So people are asking, is crypto dead again? Well, I'm going to be talking about the market in 2023 and what I'm seeing as a tax accountant and what my predictions are for what's going to happen next. Hello everyone, my name is Ethan Rushock and I deal with a lot of crypto clients as a tax accountant here in Australia. So I'm going to be talking about the market in 2023. Now, this isn't financial advice. I'm purely giving you my observations about what people are doing, how my existing clients are treating it. Am I getting as many leads? How's the YouTube content going in the crypto space? And what all of that means. So I have a lot of existing clients that are into crypto. So a good way for me to get a bit of an idea of what's happening is what's happening with these existing clients, what's happening with their current portfolios, what's happening with what type of work they're wanting doing, and what's their general sentiment about, are they going to stay involved in crypto, or are they doubling down on crypto, for instance. So overall, my existing clients are struggling. The market has definitely taken an impact on a lot of people. Not everyone's struggling. Some people have made really good money and got out at the right time, sold off a lot of their portfolios 8-9 months ago, made their profits, paid their tax, and have walked away and are really happy. Maybe they've just left a little bit in the market just to play around with. There's definitely others that unfortunately got in at the wrong time and definitely at a major loss position. And now we're dealing with that from a tax point of view. So it's definitely a variance of, we've got some people right up here and some are definitely down here, unfortunately. I've had multiple clients that set up companies that thought they were going to invest within a company structure because they had plans for passive income ideas, or maybe they thought that their income was going to be so large based on their previous trading that it would make sense to be using a company structure. And I've actually had a couple of those deregister within the last month. So they've gone, nah, this just is not going to happen. The market's nowhere near what we were predicting. We want out. We don't want the ongoing ASIC fees. We don't want the ongoing accounting fees. And they've decided to deregister those companies. So that, to me, is a major sign that there isn't as much optimism for 2023 as what there was for 2022 when these guys were setting up these companies. Profits are definitely down. I have seen that when I was lodging 2021 tax returns. A lot of people made a lot of profits. Even by 2022, a lot of those profits were a lot lower, or even some of them had made more losses in 2022 than what the profits they made in 2021. And that causes a whole nother tax nightmare. So if you want to read more and watch more about that one, go and check the video out I've done about that. But in general, profits are down, which is to be expected when the market takes a tumble. Not everyone's going to be in profit like they were. It's not as easy to make money in crypto as what it was a few years ago. So people are either pulling out at the right time or pulling out at the wrong time. Unfortunately, there's still the record keeping that needs to happen. So people aren't as keen to go and pay an accountant to get this record keeping done. So I'm noticing more people are trying to do it themselves, trying to reconcile things like Crypto Tax Calculator or Coinly, because they haven't got the profits to go and pay an accountant thousands of dollars to get this done. But unfortunately, the record keeping still has to be done. You've still got to lodge your tax return and you've still got to lodge it accurately. The ATO don't care if that's $1 million gain or $1 million loss. They want to see it accurately. And if anything, it's more important to get it right when you're in a loss position. So when the market is tumbling, you want to get it right because you want to make sure you're getting those losses and they're getting put into your tax return so they can be utilized in future years, whether that's against future crypto gains or maybe it's another asset class like you've sold an investment property. You want to make sure you've got these losses in your return correctly. The next area I can look at is, well, how many leads am I getting? How many new people are coming to me for crypto tax advice or crypto tax returns? And it's definitely dropped off. There has definitely been a significant drop off, especially in the last few months, of new leads coming in. There was still quite a bit in July and August, but July and August is always busy for me. Everyone's wanting to get their tax return done. And especially if you'd made a small loss on crypto, you were still happy to get your return done because you want your refund from your employment overpayment and taxes, for instance. But I've definitely noticed a massive drop off in crypto tax advice. Not many people are coming to me for advice on how things are taxed. And to me, that is a clear sentiment that maybe there's not as much innovation in the area at the moment. Maybe people have started to learn it. Or maybe people aren't just willing to risk their investments on these areas that are a little bit more challenging from a tax point of view. They're just keeping clear. There is still questions about some of these things that have been happening, like the Celsius collapse or the FTX collapse, where people want to know, well, how's that going to, I've been impacted, I've lost some money, how's that going to impact me from a tax point of view? But I'm not getting those inquiries like, hey, I'm involved in this DAO that's doing this crazy stuff. How is that going to be taxed? Those kind of things have really dropped off. And I think that just is a really clear indicator of where the market is currently at. People also don't seem to care as much when they're in a loss position. I've just talked about it before, how important it is you still get this right. But a lot of people just assume, oh, I made a loss, I don't need to report it. But you definitely want to, because I've come across people that haven't reported their losses in previous years, and it's really hard for us to get them back in the returns. We've got to try and lodge amendments, and the ATO don't always accept them. So you want to be lodging those losses in the year they happen to make sure, one, you're actually doing your tax return correctly, and two, it's likely going to work in your favor in the future. Now, the next part, I'm going to be talking about YouTube and my YouTube content and how that will play into what I think is going to happen in the market in the future. But it's a great time for me to say, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. I've got the goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2023, and I can't do it without your help. So I'd love for you to do that. Now let's get back into the video. And then the third area I can look at to see where the market's at is, how is the YouTube content going? How is my channel going? Because I had a lot of crypto tax videos that were bringing in a lot of viewers and a lot of new subscribers. So how has all that unfolded? And again, there has been a drop. The crypto content isn't doing as well as it was 6 to 12 months ago. And my channel growth has slowed because I had a lot of viewers coming for that content. I think this makes sense. When the market is hot, there's a lot of new people investing. We've got a lot of new people coming into the space, and therefore they're wanting to learn about how the tax works, for instance, or, you know, what happens if I'm staking. So when we've got new people coming in, we've got new eyes, new subscribers, new viewers, that's when the market is really hot. When it slows down, it's just the existing people in crypto. They're not as interested in the tax side of things because they already know it. Well, they should know. It does also come down to a bit of the time of the year. This time of the year is slower. There's nothing due. Tax returns have normally been lodged if you're lodging yourself. You're nowhere near the agent due date, so it is a bit slower at this time of the year. But I can see that, you know, from July to December, it's been slower than what it was from July to December last year. And that could also be due to some of my videos aren't ranking as well, for instance. But overall, I think the content is definitely slowing when it comes to crypto. And I think that just is a real indication of who is still in the market. I've also noticed there's less people making content about crypto. There's not as many TikTok videos I'm seeing or YouTubers that are making content about crypto. That has slowed down, and I think that's a general indication of people don't think it's going to be as hot in the next year or two. Like, for instance, for me, I probably haven't made as much content about crypto because I know people aren't involved as much as what they were 6 months ago. So in general, if content creation is slowing down, normally that means that there's not as many people interested. Those videos aren't getting as many views on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. When that's slowing, it means that there's less people involved. But with all that in mind, it might be a good time for you to do a general visit on how crypto tax works. So the video coming up next is all about the basics of how crypto tax works here in Australia, and I'll talk to you again soon.